How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel. We got called out to this 2016 Ford Mustang GT. Customers requesting rear shocks done. So we're going to get on the rear shocks. We'll get it done. Well, let's get to it. Alright, so we already took the wheel from the rear. Now what we're going to do is go underneath the vehicle and remove the two mounting bolts for the shock absorber. And the bottom mounting bolts are 15 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and loosen those up. Also did put a jack here so that it could lift. We could lift the lower control arm. We want to definitely relieve some of that stress on this suspension, so we can remove that shock absorber. So let's go ahead and get it done. Let's see here. And one important thing to note on this particular vehicle, this 2016 Ford Mustang, I'm sure it applies to more, but definitely what you want to do is take a look at manufacturer specs and procedures. But all the hardware has to be replaced, all the mounting hardware, these lower bolts, the bolts that attached to the top over here, these bolts, all those have to replace. The nut that goes on the actual shock rod has to be replaced. All the mounting hardware has to be replaced. You cannot reuse it. And that is based on manufacturer repair procedures. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the top now. All right, so the top bolts here are 18 millimeter. So we'll go ahead and remove these now. I'll just be able to press down and pull out. There we go. And now we're going to replace it with a replacement shock. Alright, so as you guys can tell, this vehicle comes with aftermarket Koni shocks. So we're going to be replacing with the same Koni ones. And now this, on this particular shock, it's got two jam nuts. And these are 19 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and remove those. There's one of them, and then the other jam nut is right in there, so we won't get that as well. Alright, so the bottom jam nut, so I'm going to use a deep socket thin wall to get down there. So let's get it done. There's the other one, and we'll go ahead and this will just slide right out. Okay. And this is the bump stop. We're just going to remove this. There we go. I think the replacement one should come with this. But this is the old one, so let's go grab the new one. Alright, so these are the new Koni ones. I just put this plate on, the bump stop. I'll put the boot on. Then we're going to put the tower. This bad boy here. Actually, goes this way. There you go. Then we're going to install this washer on top. Then this nut. Actually, before we do is we're going to put a little bit of Loctite on it. Alright, so I got me the Loctite. So first thing, like I said, we're going to put the spacer in here. Got it in here. We'll get one of the lock nuts. Going to go ahead and install it. I'm going to tighten it down. I'm going to add a little bit of Loctite. Actually, let me open this up here. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. Get the other new lock nut here. And now we're going to jam it into the other one. That'll be good. And now we'll go ahead and mount this shock. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and place this shock in here. Drop it down to where it mounts. And then actually we could put these underneath right here. Right where these bolts are hanging out, you want to put that shock right there to hold. And then we'll line these bolts up. So let's go to the bottom and put the brand new bolts. Alright, so this is the hardware the customer bought, OEM, straight from Ford parts. And these are the bottom mounting bolts for the rear shocks. Already come with Loctite on it. So all we do is just snug them down and then torque them down. So let's get it done. Alright, let's go ahead and put these shocks in here. Just gotta line these up. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna snug these bad boys down. And then we're going to go install the top ones real quick. Alright, so we're going to install these mounting bolts on top. And that's these bad boys, OEM parts as well. And I say you have to replace the entire hardware. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll bring this shock down. Let's get it underneath these two screws. Manually start everything. I'll go ahead and get it started or get it going with the cordless ratchet. All right, here we go. All right, now we're going to go underneath and torque the bottom mounting bolts to 35 foot-pounds. All right, so we're going to torque these bad boys to 35 foot-pounds. Here we go. Now let's go to the next one. Okay. And we're going to do it one more time, just to make sure. All right. All right, perfect. Now let's move on to the top. All right, so we're going to torque the upper two mounting bolts to 66 foot-pounds. Okay. Let's Let's go to the next one. There we go. All right, let's do it one more time. Okay. On to the next one. Okay. All right. So that does the driver's side rear. Mounted this bad boy. So now we're going to move on to the passenger side. All right, so here we are on the right rear passenger side. We'll go ahead and take these bad boys off. And it's the same process as the one previously done. So we're going to start at the bottom. Let's go down there. See, this was mounted incorrectly. This washer is supposed to go on top, then the two jam nuts. So I'm not sure who did this, but that was definitely incorrect install. It's all right though. We're gonna fix this for this customer. So let's go ahead and get this out. All right, so we're going to torque these wheel lug nuts to 148 foot-pounds. Let's do it one more time. And you want to go in a star pattern when you do this. All right, let's go to the next side. All right, so we're on the passenger side, rear. So let's go ahead and get these done. Okay, you gotta go in a star pattern. One more time. All right, so that is 148 foot-pounds of torque on these wheels. All right, so that concludes the rear performance shocks install. We installed the Koni rear shocks on this vehicle. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me. And this was on a 2016 Ford Mustang GT. You guys have a good one.